LegacyMaker, the all sports network.
All right, so question at hand right now. Should the Washington Redskins bring in Josh Rosen or try to trade for Josh Rosen from the Arizona Cardinals? Right now the Washington Redskins quarterback situation is a little bleak. They have Alex Smith, but obviously Alex Smith is not going to play next year. Or at least that's the reports coming out that he may not play till 2020. Who knows if Alex Smith will be back? Prayerfully on his end, maybe he'll get back. Also, they have Case Keenum, who they just traded for from the Denver Broncos. Case Keenum is a good quarterback, decent quarterback, but can Case Keenum really get you to where you want to be as a franchise? And then, of course, you have Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy is a career backup. Let's be honest. He had a few moments when he was in Cleveland. He's had a few moments as a Washington Redskins backup a few years ago. But in my opinion, if you're the Washington Redskins, you have to go out and make something happen here. And in my opinion, you have to go and get a Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen, you can look at it and say, okay, well, numbers last year weren't the greatest. He struggled last year, only 3 wins in his first season at the quarterback position in the NFL. He had 14 interceptions last year to 11 touchdowns. And so you look at those, he only threw for, 2,000 yards last year. You look at those things and you say, oh, maybe he's not ready yet. But you got to look at the scenarios in Arizona. You had a coach that, as we see now, the coach is gone. Their first year coach, they let him go. Things just didn't go well in Arizona. And I feel like if you give Rosen an opportunity, he has a chance to flourish if he can get under the right system, if he can learn under the right guy. But the question then comes, is Jay Gruden that guy to make that happen? We're not even 100% sure if Jay Gruden will be back as the Redskins head coach after this season. There was a lot of questions going into this offseason if he would even be that guy, but the Redskins tried to make sure kind of early, hey, Jay Gruden's coming back, and he's back. Now, the Redskins have led the league and injuries, the last 2 seasons. They just haven't been able to catch a break. And, they had 4 quarterbacks last year, which brings me back all the way back to this point. The Redskins should go get Josh Rosen. He's a young guy who people say he's got a little talent. It didn't show up a lot last year, but they under a defensive head coach, and they had an offensive coordinator change in the mid-season. They brought in Byron Leftwich. But for a whole year of just having a chance to be maybe the guy or learning under a guy, maybe just sitting back and watching Case Keenum and having a chance to develop, and then maybe he can come in 2020, be the starter, have a chance to really get things going in Washington. But like I said, there's so many questions at hand here if you're the Washington Redskins and you decide to make this move. If you go in, you make the move, you bring in Josh Rosen, you don't even have to go draft quarterback here in this draft. This draft is heavy in defense. They got some really solid, talented players, but the Redskins need to continue to develop in other areas. So they wouldn't have to spend their first round pick or second round pick on a quarterback. They can use those picks to develop other areas of the team, receiver, possibly tight end with the way things have happened with Jordan Reed the last few years and Vernon Davis getting up there in age. So if you're the Redskins, what do? What's the move that you make here? I say you go in there, you get Josh Rosen, and you develop him. The only bad thing, like I said, you just do not know what the scenario will be next year with Jay Gruden, because most of the time when quarterbacks come in, they get connected to GMs and head coaches. Will the Redskins have enough patience to keep Josh Rosen around after that? If that does go down, who knows? So many teams are looking at Rosen: Chargers, Giants, Patriots, and all of those teams looking at him. But if I'm the Redskins, you make this happen. Go get Josh Rosen. Make him your future.